Good day, grade 9s. Activity 4, video 6. We have already posted the entire general ledger and we did the explanation. That is video 5.1 and 5.2, which explains all of page 44 and 45. And this video is going to focus on the trial balance. Okay, so a trial balance is pretty simple. You guys basically need to know, very important, you need to know the layout of a trial balance. So as we can see here, a trial balance consists of two sections, namely a balance sheet account and a nominal account section. I'll explain to you now what goes in there. We then have a folio and a debit and a credit column. So like I said, it's very important to know your format and your layout of a trial balance, as sometimes in a test they like to ask it in very complicated ways. Sometimes they give you a already completed trial balance and it's all mixed up and in the wrong section and in the wrong column, and then you have to fix it. So it's very important to know what goes in a balance sheet and what goes in a nominal account section. Right, so it's very easy to post from your ledger because your ledgers tell you exactly where it goes. So this is, fortunate for you, easy enough because it says capital and capital is B1. Okay, balance sheet number 1. Drawings B2. So this is your folio over there and it shows you exactly what to do. And that's very easy. In a test situation, it's not going to be given to you like this. Okay, sometimes how they like to do it is they give it to you in a list format. So it's just a bunch, it just says like assets, or it will say bank, capital, drawings, and it's just in a list format. And they sometimes confuse the numbers and the letters. So they could, for example, say capital is N1 and try to confuse you. Then you have to know, capital doesn't belong in the nominal sheet section. It belongs in the balance sheet. So it's very important to know your layout. Okay, so I have an easy way for you to remember this. Your balance sheet account consists of, let me just quickly do it here. Balance sheet. Okay, it is times 2 owner's equity accounts, which is capital and drawings. Okay, then all of your assets. Okay, assets, that's bank, equipment, trading stock, I can't think of any others. Bank, cash float, petty cash, vehicles, land and buildings. So it will then be, so your balance sheet starts with 2 times owner's equity accounts. Then you will have all your assets. Later on, we're going to add something called debtors control. That's also an asset. Okay, and then later on, term 3 work, we're going to add something called my liabilities. Okay, which is creditors control. But don't worry about that for now. Now we only focus on my 2 owner's equity accounts, capital and drawings, and then my assets. Okay. Now, how do I know whether it goes into the debit or credit column? We can use did, click. Okay, so you just think, does it form part of did or does it form part of click? Okay, if it forms part of did, it goes in the debit column, and if it forms part of click, it goes in the credit column. Okay, and did consists of expenses, assets and drawings, and click, liabilities, incomes, and capital. Okay, so this is whether to decide whether it goes in your debit or credit column over here. Another way of doing that is if you are given a ledger, it's simple. You just use these totals here on whichever side it is. You know, equipment's going to go to B4 in the debit column. Right, so it's quite simple to post it from ledgers. When they give it to you in a list format, it becomes a little bit more complicated. You have to know this off by heart. All right, so that's my balance sheet. I'm quickly going to post that for you. Right, so first we have, I'm just going to take a photo of this so I don't have to keep posting, going back and forth. Sorry. All right. Okay, so capital, I know it goes to my balance sheet, and it is B1. Okay, grade 9s, we've always been taught to count in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please don't go B1, B7, B2. Count systematically in order, in ascending order, whatever it's called, systematically. Capital is always B1. Okay, if they don't give you capital, then something else can become B1. Okay, but majority of the time, we like to teach you that capital is B1. Okay, and that is going to go into my credit column, and my amount, I can't see now, 150,171. Okay, then we have drawings, okay, which if we look in my general ledger, drawings was on the debit side, and the total was 4,700. So now we're going to go drawings, B2, drawings forms part of dead, so therefore it's going in the debit column. Okay, and that amount was 4,700. Okay, next is vehicles. So yeah, we're starting with my first asset, which is B3. Assets form part of dead. And vehicles is 84065. 84065. Then we have equipment. Equipment B4, which is 56660. Trading stock, also an asset. And that is B5. Okay, now trading stock, I want to turn back and just explain to you, because grade 9s always get confused here with which amount to take and which side. So it's not the total that we take. That was the total. Okay, it's not the carried down amount and side that we take. It will always be my brought down. So when you get to things like trading stock, bank, debtors control, creditors control, that have entries on both the debit and the credit side. Debtors and creditors we haven't done yet, so don't freak out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But they'll always have entries on the debit and the credit side. When that happens, grade 9s, and you're not sure when you get to this situation in your life and you're not sure which one to take, it's always this one. Okay, this is the one that always goes to your trial balance. Okay, the brought down amount on the first day of the next month. Okay, so that will be the same for trading stock and bank. Okay, it's always your brought down amount on the first day of the next month if you are faced with an account that has been balanced. Okay. Right, so trading stock is on my debit side, and my brought down balance on the first day of the next month was 5128,50. Then we have bank, which is going to be B6. and I cannot see that amount. Bank, which is 23,467. And then lastly, we have cash float, B7, and that was 400 Rand. So we can see here, my balance sheet section consists of 2 owners' equity, capital and drawings, and the rest are all assets. How do I know which column they go into? I use dead click. Right, then we have nominal accounts. Nominal basically is everything else. So what's left? We've got 2 owners' equity, we've got assets. The rest is my income and expenses. Owner's equity, income and expenses. So now we go over here, and my nominal sheet consists of all owner's equity, income and expenses. All right, so that is how we are going to know which one goes where. Right, once again, sorry, I was just busy taking a photo so that I don't have to page back and forth. Right, so let's go. Okay, sales, we can see is on the credit side, and it is N1. So sales N1, and that amount is in the credit column 25186. Then we have cost of sales, which is an owner's equity expense. Okay, expenses form part of debt, so therefore it must go in the debit column, and that total is 18,889 Rand and 50 cents. Then we have current income. That is N3, and it is an income, and incomes form part of click, so it must go in the credit column. All right, then my next general ledger is rent income. Rent income. That is N4. It is an owner's equity income, and incomes form part of click. Therefore, it must go in the credit column. 16,479. Then we have wages. Wages is classified as owner's equity expense. Expenses form part of debt, and therefore it has to go in my debit column, 7,800. Okay, next we have consumable goods. That will be N6, and it is an owner's equity expense, so it also goes into your debit column. Next we have rent expense, also owner's equity expense, so still part of the debit column, 14825. Then we have stationery, and that is N8 767. Then up at the top of your page there we have water and electricity. In 91215, still an owner's equity expense, so it goes into your debit column because it forms part of debt. Telephone in 10. Okay, and they gave us some lines short here. That's not a problem. We'll just draw them.